Hello. Did you know that for years I had a sketchbook I was too afraid to use? It sat on my bookshelf, brand new, looking really pretty from the front and side, and every time I picked it up, I would look at it and then just put it right back. Because I always felt I'm not good enough yet for this sketchbook. For some reason, I felt whatever I drew in there had to be good. It had to be worth the page. If you've ever bought a beautiful sketchbook and then been just too scared to actually draw in it, this video is for you. Because I finally figured out why we do that, and I figured out how to stop. So here's what's really going on when you can't make that first mark. You're not afraid of drawing. You draw all the time. On scrap paper, on sticky notes, in less precious sketchbooks or notepads. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you've decided that a sketchbook is a finished thing, a portfolio, a gallery, and everything that goes inside it is on display. All of those beautiful sketchbook spreads that you see online don't really help with that fear. When you look at that pretty sketchbook that you bought, you believe every page could be a test that you can fail. The drawing has to be good enough, worth it, perfect. And if it's not, well, now you've ruined the page. In a book that you can't unruin. And that's the trap. We treat the sketchbook like the product. Like the point is the book itself, full of finished work we'd be proud to show. But that's not what a sketchbook is. A sketchbook is a tool. It's not the product. You didn't buy it to fill with masterpieces. You bought it to practice. That's the entire purpose. It's a place to be bad, to experiment, to try the thing you're not sure will work. It's consumable, like a pad of printer paper, like a tube of paint. It's meant to be used up. The moment I started thinking of my sketchbook as something disposable, something I bought specifically to use, not to protect, that fear dissipated. There was nothing to protect anymore. You can't ruin a page in a sketchbook whose whole job is to be drawn in. A bad drawing isn't damage, it's the book being exactly what you bought it for. And once I saw it that way, I realized I was late to something the artist I admire most already knew. The people whose work I truly admire never treated their sketchbooks as precious. They treated them as tools to use up. We think of Leonardo da Vinci's notebook as a treasure now. It's locked up in museums, one of them owned by a billionaire. But that's not what they were to him. They were his workspace. Among thousands of surviving pages, you'll find a study for a painting, sitting next to a to-do list, a note about money he owned, a doodle of a friend, a machine he imagined and never built. He wasn't making art for anyone to see. He was thinking on paper. The mess is the point. It's what a mind looks like when it's allowed to work without an audience. Turner did the same thing at a different scale. When he died, he left around 300 sketchbooks to the nation, more than 30,000 pages. He carried them everywhere, on every trip, for over 50 years. 300 books, he didn't fill them because each one was supposed to be a masterpiece. He filled them because that was the work. The sketchbook was where the looking ahead happened, and the paintings came out the other side. And this isn't just history. Linda Berry, the cartoonist who teaches this for a living, has her students work in the cheapest composition notebooks she can find, on purpose, because a cheap notebook doesn't feel precious enough to be scared of it. Her whole argument is that we didn't quit drawing for a lack of talent. We quit because we got afraid of being bad at it. She spends entire classes teaching adults how to stop asking, is this any good? So none of them, not the old masters, not the teacher teaching art right now, see Sketchbook as art itself. All of them were using them up on purpose. So here are 4 things you can start doing to stop your fear and start filling your sketchbook for real. So tip number 1 is the first page is a test page. Before I draw anything I care about, I wreck the first page on purpose. I scribble on it, I test every pen I own, I swatch my colors, I see how the markers bleed, I make it loud and messy and ugly. By the time I'm done, the book is no longer pristine. It's already been used. It's already imperfect. I no longer purposefully do this now, but I used to do this on every new sketchbook. And that's the point. The scariest page in any sketchbook is the first clean one, because it's the only thing standing between you and a ruined book. So ruin it yourself immediately on purpose. Once the book is already messy, then there's nothing left to protect. Every page after that is easy because whatever you draw will be better looking than the first page. If you want to see where that attitude leads, look at Kim Jong-gi, the Korean artist who filled thousands of sketchbook pages of relentless daily practice before he passed away in 2022. He drew enormous, impossibly detailed scenes straight in ink from memory with no pencil sketch underneath, no safety net at all. Not because he never made a bad mark, because he stopped treating any single mark as precious. His advice to other artists was simply to have fun while drawing. My tip number 2 is to give your sketchbook a job. A sketchbook without a purpose can be intimidating because anything could go in it, which means everything has to be worthy of it. So I give mine one clear job. For me, it's this: 20 minutes a day, one portrait, any style, any material I have on hand. That's the whole rule. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be finished. It just has to be 20 minutes and the face. When the book has a job, you stop asking, is this good enough to go in there? The answer is already yes, because it's not about quality, it's about showing up. The book becomes a record of practice, not a collection of trophies. Your job can be anything. One drawing a day, one color study, one thing you saw on your walk. Pick something small and repeatable, and let the book just be a place that holds it. Tip number 3 is to keep it a secret. The fear often is about being judged, so take the judgment out of the room. If you don't show your sketchbook to anyone, not while you're working on it, it becomes a private conversation. Nobody gets to flip through it and have an opinion because nobody's seeing it at all. When you know no one's going to look, you stop drawing for an audience and start drawing for yourself. You'll try uglier things, weirder things, the things you never post. And those are usually the drawings where you actually learn something. Frida Kahlo did exactly this for the last 10 years of her life. She kept an illustrated diary, and she never showed it to anyone. It wasn't published until 40 years after she died. That book was never made for us. It was the place she could be completely honest with herself. And the privacy is what let it come alive. If you want to share a page later once it's finished and you're proud of it, go ahead. But the book itself stays yours. My last tip is to only date the first and last page. I don't date individual drawings. I date the first page when I start a book and the last page when I finish it. It's a small thing, but it changes how I see the whole thing because it stops being a stack of separate drawings I have to judge one and the other one at a time. It just becomes one thing. It becomes a span of time. 3 months of practice, a season of my life. When I finish a book and write that closing date, I'm not looking at whether each page was good. I'm looking at the fact that I filled the whole thing, that I kept showing up, and that's the only measure that's ever mattered. The sketchbooks I was too afraid to touch are full now. Every one of them, front to back. Bad drawings, good ones, and a lot of in between. None of those pages are perfect. That was never the point. The point was to use the book up, to treat it like a tool, and let it be the place where I'm allowed to be bad on the way to getting better. So if you got a beautiful sketchbook sitting on a bookshelf, still waiting for a drawing good enough to deserve it, it'll be waiting forever. Go open it, wreck the first page, give it a job, keep it to yourself, and just start feeling it. It's not precious. And that's the best thing about it.